is Simon Street with Denver Business Coach, and today I wanted to make a video about how the coronavirus might impact local businesses. And in our world, in the coaching realm, in the last 2 weeks, we had many conversations with our clients and with business owners to talk about the potential impact it might have on small business and in particular their business. So I think we've seen anything from people are going all out with their planning to the other end of the spectrum being like, I don't even want to think about it and I'm scared as hell of what might potentially happen. And I think, depending on where you're at with your business, the impact could be severe, and your role as a CEO is to prepare, start running some different scenarios and just be able to respond proactively and with intelligence and with planning rather than just being at the effect of the situation and be very reactive in this process. So what we're doing with our clients, I think we have them first and foremost answer a question, which is how specifically is or may this situation be impacting you? And what we're seeing there is it's really very different depending on the industry that you're in and your particular situation. For example, right now we're in early March. It's in the middle of tax season. We have a couple accounting firms that we're working with, and their fear really is not so much a drop in sales or a drop in work that they need to do, but it's more, how do I manage my staff? How do I get my staff prepared for possibly working remote? And then what would happen to the business if one or two of our key employees were not able to work for a period of time? And how would that affect our deliverables? Would we be able to meet deadlines? Could we train someone? Those are all questions that they're thinking about. Another client of ours, maybe restaurant owner, they have to think about if some of our kitchen members would be affected and we were out one or two critical workers in the kitchen, how would that affect our ability to get work done? And so that's on the staffing side. That's always a challenge for small business owners or small restaurants. And then what would happen if sales were going to go down? We hear a lot about recommendations to not go out to larger events or in public situations, and whether or not that might be necessary. I think it's really a matter of how people respond, and it's kind of out of your control as a business owner. So what would happen to your business if sales were to go down 20%, for example, or less or more? And then another situation is, for example, event planning, where you might deal with a lot of cancellations. What is your refund policy? How are you going to enforce that refund policy? How are you updating your contracts for events that may happen in the summer or the fall, for example? Do you need to rewrite your contracts? Like, those are all questions, or do you need to be prepared to answer certain questions? So again, depending on the industry that you're in, the worries that you might have or the challenges that you might have may be different. So you want to get very clear what is the potential risks for your particular business, and start writing those down and start really thinking about that, which is the second step, which is really about getting very specific, like what problems do you have, what questions do you have, and really do a brain dump exercise of just, here's all the things I'm worried about, here's all the things I'm thinking about, and get that down in writing so that your mind can actually start dealing with the actual issues, the actual questions, rather than just being either stuck in fear or paralyzed or just be all over the place with your thinking and not really using your intelligence to kind of pinpoint and do critical thinking. So if you're clear how potential economic changes in the landscape is going to impact your business, then you can think about, okay, what questions do I need to be asking and how can I prepare for it? and we're going to go into just a couple specific questions in a minute. And then thirdly, I think, is really you want to take action. So this is, as a CEO, you're responsible the same way you're taking precautions at home with your family. You have to take care of your business, and you have to think ahead, because I think, whatever strategic planning you've done for 2020, at this point you have to start adapting to it and really come up with a plan B. And one of the things that we've seen in the analysis of like the 2008, 2010 economic downturns is that businesses that were just slightly ahead in terms of preparing for the economic downturn did exponentially better. So with a situation like this, if you can take action now and get into start making contingency plans and start moving towards that, the sooner the better, the more likely it is for your business to get out of this situation in a much better situation. So as it relates to what can I do as a business owner, or what are some areas that I need to be looking at, the first item would be, you have to look at your pro forma budget, what were your projected sales, and you have to do some scenario planning. So for example, what would your budget look like if sales were to decrease by 15%, by 30%, by 50%? Those are some extreme scenarios, but as a CEO, you at least have to think ahead, and right now these are hypotheticals, but it's going to allow you to really look at certain scenario and then start thinking about what are particular actions that you can do now to prepare for situations like that. But I think having the right information is going to allow you to make better decisions already right now. So with that, then it comes right to like keeping a much tighter eye right now on your sales. You want to be monitoring your sales on a daily level, where some CEOs just look at it on a monthly report. You really want to be very close to what's happening on a daily basis. So monitor your sales, which will then allow you also to make better decisions as it relates to inventory, as it relates to setting your schedule for your staff. The main intent should be to not be wasteful in any way, where you're spending too much money on inventory and you have it sitting on the shelf, or where you're overstaffed for certain periods of time. So that's the second area, is like really being diligent about where your money is going. It's best practice in general, but right now it's especially important. The third area is talking with your staff, and I think there what is really important is being clear what the policies are as it relates to sick leave, being clear about what are the best practices as it relates to your own safety precautions, cleaning procedures, those kind of things. For sure, it's your job as the business owner to bring clarity into that realm, rather than just assumptions and kind of like trust that people know what to do. I think you as a business want to have clear policies. Also, as it relates to the how your staff is communicating with question that your business is going to get. So really, instead of having 5, 10, 20 people just answer questions based on their own personal interpretation of the situation, you want to make sure that as a company you identify what are the most likely questions we're going to get asked from our customers, and what is our company's response to it, so that you have a cohesive message, that you think about what that message is, that it is one that brings calm, clarity, information, education, and is not one that could be detrimental to your business. Then thirdly, you want to start thinking about how can you secure funding. So for most businesses, if your revenues are going to go down by, let's say, 30%, it's going to be very difficult to maintain a break-even budget. Where there's a fine line between you don't really know how long a decrease in sales might last. I think realistically you have to plan for several months at this point, but at the same time in Denver we're in a market where if you have to let go of staff, that might be really costly in the long term for your business. So what we want to look at is how can you secure potential funding to fund a few months of loss. For owners that might be on the personal side, increasing your business line of credit, maybe negotiating some contracts with loans that you have. For example, maybe you can lower the monthly payments on loans for a period of time, or you can extend the duration of the loan just to lower your cash outflow for a period of time, for this period of time. Negotiate your vendor contracts if you have accounts payable. Can you extend that period of time? On the personal side, sometimes it's easier for business owners to get funding or lines of credit in place on the personal side, and maybe not draw salary or distributions. So those are conversations you want to look at. And then the last one is really to look forward and innovate. I think there is going to be a change in customer behavior, and with that there's going to be opportunities, and there's opportunities for you to innovate. There's opportunities for you to communicate with your customer, to have a different type of relationship. Oftentimes, businesses that have been in business for a period of time, there's a certain roadness or a certain just automatic behavior that your customers have with your business. This is really an opportunity to interrupt that, but also to then build on that relationship and maybe come up with innovative ways to actually offer something different. Maybe there's other revenue streams that you can explore that right now are, weren't feasible before. So those are good conversations to be in. If you're a business owner that does have a mastermind group or trusted advisors, definitely get outside perspective. It's lonely as a business owner, and sometimes just having an outside perspective can really help you think things through more calmly, ask questions that you might not be thinking about, and sometimes come up with solutions that you might not be seeing. Can't see the forest for the trees. So, of course, here at Denver Business Coach, if you do have any questions, we're here. We're happy to help, even if it's just a one-off consultation. If you have certain specific situations that you want to discuss, we have a team of great coaches here that have gone through a lot and have a lot of experience to bring to this situation. So I hope this helps, and please, if you have any questions, put them in the comments, send us a private message. Be happy to address them, and also as we're dealing with more specific scenarios, we will definitely keep you posted in that way as well, and just do some case studies of work that we're doing here.